Hey everyone, how are you all doing? Today I'm going to be taking a look at the SH Figuarts Spider-Man No Way Home. You could technically call it, I guess, Amazing Spider-Man 2. The Amazing Spider-Man, aka Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. And this figure, we have been waiting for any company to give us a good Andrew Garfield Spider-Man for the longest time. And within the last, month, we've gotten two of them. We've gotten two absolutely wonderful figures. Both of which, they have a couple of flaws here and there, but I, on both of them, have fixed both, all the flaws that they do have, which is not many. I'm going to be honest, it's not many. And if you know what this figure looked like originally, you would know that I have already modded the neck, and I will go into that, in a few minutes here. But first, let's just get right into it, because this figure is so, no pun intended, amazing, and he completes the trio of the No Way Home Spider-Man figures. I don't have the new Tom Holland one, but I have the old one. When that red and blue suit comes out, it'll complete the team of having the three of them together in their classic, suits, and they just, they're gonna look so good together. And they, as of right now, they both, they all looked great anyway. But like I said, without further ado, let's get into what Andrew comes with. So as you can see right here, he has sort of splayed out hands. These are not the wall crawling hands, but these are obviously, like I said, splayed out hands. And what's really cool about these is I didn't even realize it at first. He actually has like where his, index and ring fingers will hit, to activate the web shooters. So that's really cool. I never noticed that detail in the movie or anything. So it's really nice to have actually on the figure itself. But aside from those, in the box, he comes with these web holding hands, which he doesn't come with any fists. These are the closest ones that we get, but as you can see, there is a hole in it, so you can put a web through it. And these are just really nice. These are all the hands that, have the visible palms and that actually have this, if it'll focus for me, have that little pad that I was talking about, so he can, flip properly. He has a pair of actual kind of wall crawling hands. So the fingers actually are a lot straighter and they'll touch the ground. He has a pair of more relaxed hands. These are nice. The index and ring finger are also connected on this one instead of having all four fingers, individually spread out. Of course, wouldn't be Spider-Man without his thwip hands, and these look really nice as well. Which, it's kind of funny, like I was mentioning, that he has the, the little pad, but the thwip hands, the fingers don't touch on there, which is not a big deal, but like, why would you have that detail if they don't touch? And then, of course, for the memes, he comes with the pointing fingers, which is so awesome. He does come with the pointing hands. He has a set of these, of course. And this is awesome because you can, at the very least, I can, for what I have just having Andrew and Toby, I can have them pointing at each other for the memes. So that's so awesome. He comes with two of these webs, and they're not bendy or anything, and they just slide over the wrist, but these are pretty good. They're all right. They're not bad. Comes with two of the smaller ones. They also, just slide onto the wrist. And then for the web holding hands that I showed at the beginning, he comes with this web, so you can have him sort of, using it to propel himself and swing across and whatnot. And this looks pretty good as well. It's got some nice detail throughout it. It's pretty good. And then unfortunately, because of either Sony or maybe Andrew Garfield's likeness or whatever, we weren't able to get the unmasked head or the mask holding hands or the, empty mask itself, which is very unfortunate. But I mean, let's be really honest here. Was anyone going to pose this figure, just set it up on the shelf? And the same goes for Toby without the masks. Because, if I bring in Toby real quick, which kind of spoiling, the size comparison here for the two. But, having these two together, are you really going to have them with their masks off? I feel like no. Because this just looks beautiful. And then, obviously, if I bring in Tom here, this is just so freaking cool. Look at them having the Spider-Men together, And then, hopefully sometime, they've announced it, so hopefully sometime we'll get a crossover movie again, and we get to see Miles. And now taking a look at the detail on Andrew's Spidey. I love the head sculpt on this thing. His lenses are my favorite lenses for sure. This, and bringing in the Legends one again real quick, you can see they both really did nail the shape, and I do like the glossiness, I think, a little bit more on the Figuarts one, and same for the overall glossiness, because this one is glossy, this one's also glossy. I feel like this one's a lot more accurate, because that was my biggest criticism for this figure in terms of, besides the neck, which I did mod and all that stuff for this figure, but was I thought the Legends one was just a tad too dark in its red and maybe the blue a little bit, and this one has, you know, brighter both of those, and it looks so good. Same with the spider, it looks really good. The one on the back looks amazing, which I'm gonna keep saying amazing, and it's really not intentional, I promise. It just ends up working out that way. And his web shooters look really good as well. If I take a closer look at that, look really good. Sometimes, you know, a little bit of the detail does get lost, I'm gonna be honest, in the fact that it is a more metallic color on the figure. So that is a little unfortunate, but like all the texture looks really nice and everything just looks so good on this guy. I'm just gonna gush about this figure this whole review. And now let's talk about what I did to the neck, because the neck was a lot longer and he just looked a little bit lanky, and it didn't really look proper to Andrew Garfield's proportions. So what I actually did was, you can't even really see the seam back here either, which is really nice. I popped the neck off, and then I used an X-Acto knife and I cut up so I could take out the joint. And the joint was actually connected. It had the connector piece that goes into the head, the connector piece that goes in the neck, and there was a lot of plastic in between. And what I did was I cut off that plastic between them and then glued those together, so it actually had less area, or it actually had more area to sit in, lowering the head and lowering the neck actually just a tiny bit too, to give him, you know, a more proportionally sound look for his neck. So yeah, if I just straighten that back out like that, his head's a lot, you know, lower into his shoulders and more accurate to how Andrew Garfield looks, you know, in his actual human proportions. But now taking a look at the articulation on this figure, because of course that's going to be the most important thing. It's a Spider-Man figure. His head, as a result of changing this articulation, you know, or not even changing his articulation, as of doing the neck thing, it still goes up all the way, which is so awesome. It can go down all the way as well. Rotate, tilt at both, you know, all that good stuff. His shoulders go up not that far, I'm going to be honest. They don't even go the full 90, which is a bummer, but, you know, you can kind of work around it. As for the butterfly joints, they go that far forward and that far back. Not too great, I'm going to be honest, but not bad. You know, we've had worse, we've had better, of course. He has a bicep swivel at this, like, little cap thing in here where it moves, and then he also has elbow. Like, it moves at the elbow, which is also double jointed, so it can go up all the way, which is really nice. Standard Figuarts joints at the wrists. As for his torso, it can go all the way forward like that. Back can go that far. He's got the tilt at the top one and rotation. He doesn't really have rotation at the bottom because of the way that they have this structured in here, but it can tilt a little bit to the sides and a little bit of rotation, but mostly just gonna go forward. As for his thighs, they go that far forward and probably could go a little bit farther back, but that far back. His legs go out. Oh, you gotta be careful with the little caps. You don't want those to go all the way back, cause some issues. Can go, okay, why can that one go out more? Okay, they go out that far. He's got a thigh swivel, of course. Double jointed knees that go up that far, kicks his own ass, no problem. No boot swivel or anything like that, but he does have the standard ankles for Figuarts, can go back that far, can go up that far, ankle pivot, and then of course, toe joint. Oh, and then I did forget to mention for the detail, he actually has the black treads on his shoes as well, which is also very nice. Very nice detailing. And now onto some size comparisons. Obviously, we are already brought in the Figuarts, Toby and Tom, and both look so good. And I love the way these three look, and there's nothing really that I can say about that other than this is just perfect. I love this so much. And then here he is next to the Legends version of the Amazing Spider-Man, aka, you know, Andrew Garfield and the No Way Home figure, and the Spider-Punk from Across the Spider-Verse, and this looks really good as well. So if you want to get even wackier sort of multiversal shenanigans on, you can do that, and it'll look really good. And then, as always, here he's next to the Marvel Legends 20th Captain America, and then the Mafex Blue Hush Batman. I think this looks really good too. If you want to have him hop through different universes and join up with Batman or Captain America, I think that looks really good. Overall, I've said it multiple times, this figure is amazing. There's nothing else that I can say about it, especially after doing the neck mod that I had talked about. And it's, you know, a relatively simple one to do. And of course, you know, just always be careful if you're going to try to mess with figures, because you don't want to break anything or hurt yourself in any sort of way, you know, because that plastic pinches. That plastic pinches and it hurts. So, but this figure blew me away just as the Toby did, and I wish that I had reviewed that Toby, but I also am okay that I didn't. Just, I love these figures so much. Having Toby and Andrew together on the shelf, you know, and they're both great figures, beautifully represented, beautifully articulated in both the Legends form and Figuarts form. These figures just have a lot of love put behind them, and as they should, because I love Tom, obviously. Tom's Spider-Man, I feel like, has the potential after No Way Home to be the best Spider-Man, but, you know, Andrew and Toby, they have always and will always have a special place in my heart, as, you know, they're the ones that I really grew up with and what created my love for Spider-Man. So getting to have figures that feel so well put together and like there was so much passion put behind them is just great. So if you love these two, you know, if you love Andrew, if you love Toby, either one, all of them, get them all. Do it just however you can, get them, because they're so worth it and they're so great and you will not be disappointed. So yeah, that's going to do it for me, and I will catch you all in the next one. See ya.